Greetings and welcome back to this next installment of Bible Topics that make you say, "Hmm." And I'm Robin Sweet Ransom, and I'm so glad that you chose to take time out of your schedule to be with me today. And so let's get into it. Are you tired of going around in circles? Now, remember that was a song. Tired of going around in circles. All right, so look at this picture. Going around and around. And it looks like it's the same person going around and around some more. And do you feel that that's what you're doing? You're going around in circles? Well, I want to introduce you to some people who went around in circles for 40 years, doing the same old thing. Sometimes we say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different outcome. Are you feeling a little insane? Let's go to Numbers 14. Last time I covered the topic, are you starting to doubt God? And we talked about those Jews and how they were bitten in the wilderness by snakes because of speaking against the Lord. They were frustrated because they had been in the wilderness too long. But whose fault was it that they were in the wilderness too long, trying to leave Egypt and get to the promised land? Then the whole community broke into loud cries, and the people wept that night. All the Israelites complained about Moses and Aaron, and the whole community told them, "If only we had died in the land of Egypt, or if only we had died in this wilderness. Why is the Lord bringing us into this land to die by the sword? Our wives and little children would become plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt?" Wait, hold up. Hold up, wait a minute. Do you know how long the Jews have been in slavery, in bondage, in captivity? 430 years. Life was hard for them, and they want to go back. They're glorifying their days in bondage. Are you trying to go back the way you came? My beautiful brothers and sisters who look like me, we all have ancestors who were brought to this country and enslaved. I often hear we were enslaved for slavery for 400 years. I never saw that anywhere, and the numbers don't add up. It wasn't 400, but it was too long anyway. And some people say we're still in some form of bondage now. But in any event, the Jews in recorded history spent more time in slavery than anybody. True slavery. Not just slavery of the mind, but true slavery. And they're upset. They were taken out of Egypt, and now things are not going the way they thought it should go, and they want to go back. I'm gonna make it plain. The Lord delivered me from the bondage of working for someone else in a 9 to 5. Now, what that means is I don't have a regular paycheck. But you know what the Lord has done for me? I have been self-employed for 7 years. I have not missed a meal, although I could stand to miss some. I have not missed paying my mortgage. I have not been late on one bill, and the Lord has blessed me to be a blessing to others. In fact, I have more in my savings now than I did when I was working at 9 to 5. But I've been trying to go back into bondage a couple of times because I won't feel like I get scared about what I see in the future. I'm like, oh, this money's running out. What happens when the money runs out? But you know what? The Lord has never allowed it to wear out. When those Jews was in that wilderness for all that time, their shoes didn't wear out, their clothes did not wear out. They did not get sick. But they wanted to go back into bondage because things weren't smooth. Verse 4. So they said to one another, let's appoint a leader and go back to Egypt. What? They ready to overthrow Moses. Then Moses and Aaron fell down with their faces to the ground in front of the whole assembly of the Israelite community. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who scouted out the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite community, the land we passed through and explored is an extremely good land, but they were afraid of the giants. Only Caleb and Joshua were not. They had faith that God could help them even slay some giants. Verse 8, if the Lord is pleased with us, he will bring us into this land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and give it to us. Let me tell you all something. The promised land was already occupied, which meant the Jews would have to kill some folks in order to get the land. Do you have to kill some folks to get what God has promised you? Not literally. Do you have to take over some things that's already possessed to get what you need, get what God has promised you? You may, and it won't be easy, but God has got your back. Don't doubt him. And I'm speaking to myself now. I never thought about this like this before. 9, only don't rebel against the Lord and don't be afraid of the people of the land, for we will devour them. Their protection has been removed from them, and the Lord is with us. Don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of Satan, saints. He can roar all he wants, but he can't devour you unless you let him. Verse 10, while the whole community threatened to stone them, they were ready to kill Moses and Aaron. The glory of the Lord appeared to all the Israelites at the tent of meeting. The Lord said to Moses, how long will these people despise me? How long will they not trust in me, despite all the signs I have performed among them? I will strike them with a plague and destroy them. Then I will make you into a greater and mightier nation than they are. The Lord was ready to get rid of all them Jews and start a new nation with Moses. That's how angry he was. Are you tired of going around in circles? Are you starting to doubt God because the way has not been easy? It has not gone the way you planned. But Moses could have said, okay, I'm ready for my own people. No, he interceded and said, no, Lord, please don't do this. What will the nations think when they hear that you took your people out of Egypt just to turn around and kill them? Don't do that for your own name's sake. They deserve it, but don't do it for your name. Please pardon the wrongdoing in these people in keeping with the greatness of your faithful love, just as you have forgiven them from Egypt until now. The Lord responded, I have pardoned them as you requested. Yet as surely as I live and as the whole earth is filled with the Lord's glory, none of the men who have seen my glory and the signs I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, remember he did 10 signs in Egypt, none of them, I'll repeat it again, who have seen my glory and the signs I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness. He did signs in the wilderness too, and have tested me these 10 times and did not obey me, will ever see the land I swore to give their forefathers. None of those who have despised me will see it. But since my servant Caleb has a different spirit, and Joshua too, and has followed me completely, I will bring him into the land where he has gone, and his descendants will inherit it. How long must I endure this evil community that keeps complaining about me? I have heard the Israelites' complaints that they make against me. Tell them, as surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you exactly as I heard you say. Ooh. Your corpses will fall in this wilderness, all of you who were registered in the census, the entire number of you 20 years old or more, because you have complained about me. I swear that none of you will enter the land I promised to settle you in, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. Your children will be shepherds in the wilderness for 40 years and bear the penalty for your acts of unfaithfulness until all your corpses lie scattered in the wilderness. You will bear the consequences of your sins 40 years based on the number of the 40 days that you scouted the land, a year for each day. You will know my displeasure. I, the Lord, have spoken. I swear that I will do to this entire evil community that has conspired against me. They will come to an end in the wilderness, and there they will die. The reason why the Jews spend 40 years on a trip that should have taken, I read somewhere before, 11 days, is because of their unfaithfulness and their doubt of God and their contemptuous behavior towards him. You don't want to have that behavior towards God. I've had to check myself. If you feel like you're going around in circles, is it because it's your fault? Is it because it's your fault? You keep making the same mistakes and you won't learn your lesson. You're insane. You keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Follow Jesus and you'll never be lost again. Learn from the Jews who wander because of their lack of faith. Having a lack of faith offends Yahweh. He is showing you who he is. Are you looking? You get lost when you forget what he's done for you. Don't let trials, tragedy, and despair derail you. Run to Jesus. He hasn't left you. He loves you. 40 years of wandering was unnecessary. The way I pray to the Lord is, Lord, help me to learn my lesson the first time out so I can pass the test and move on to the next one. I don't want to go around and round and round. I don't want to repeat no tests. I need to learn and move on. Be a quick learner. Following Jesus' footsteps. Walking in the footsteps of Jesus is what we want to do. Matthew 16:24 says, then Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wants to come with me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. Follow Jesus, saints. Don't keep going around in circles. All right. Join me next time on Bible topics that make you say, drop me some comments. Let me know what you think. See you next time.